Man, get up here in the Zoloft to get your head right.
What's up, sinners? Yeah, it's gonna be that kind of Zoloft today. I got hit with another one of them questions, man. If God is so good and powerful, how come he doesn't get rid of all the wicked people? What? You mean get rid of people like you? What? I'm just quoting what the Bible says. Matthew 12:39, a wicked, adulterous generation asks for a sign or proof. Public race, don't get me wrong. Wanting proof ain't a bad thing. The problem is the people who demand this kind of proof don't want proof of God. They want proof of no God, especially the God of the Bible. They do not want proof of this God to answer to. Any proof of God's existence wouldn't satisfy you, because you'd still look for excuses to not follow him. But hey, I'm gonna let y'all in on another little secret. God actually did get rid of the wicked people. The problem is another generation comes along and uses God getting rid of the wicked people as another reason to not believe in God. And that's not God's fault. That's the fault of people using their free will to not see the truth. Hey, what you got there? True. What the scratch and sniff? Put that away. I don't want to see that. Genesis tells us that the hearts of men were wicked all the freaking time. Basically, the world was dominated by people as wicked and brutal as ISIS, and as selfish and self-righteous and as naive as Democrats. And God got rid of all the wicked people. So God actually did what you challenged God to do. And what's your response to that? Do you thank him for getting rid of all the wicked people? No, you judge him for it. You accuse God of murdering the actual murderers. You accuse God of killing children. No. People like you who accuse God of that are the ones who actually murder children. You pro-abortion nuts. And you know the vast majority of y'all are pro-abortion. Don't even front. But let me get this straight. You want God to eliminate all the wicked grown folks. And then what? Leave the little children here to die from famine and disease? You judge God for that too. Well, God should have known better than to create evil people. God did know better. That's why he gave instructions to people with free will. And you have the free will to follow the instructions or not. It's obvious that you like having free will. It's not his fault that you don't want to use your free will to follow his instructions. But God has gotten rid of the wicked people. He leveled the Egyptians for their brutal and wicked enslavement of the Hebrews. He had the Canaanites put to the sword for their wickedness. Chop, chop, chop. Where you going? Chop, chop. Come back here. Chop. Get over here. Chop. God leveled wicked cultures for child sacrifice, sexual entitlements, bestiality, cannibalism, disease-spreading sexual immorality in the name of other gods, etc. God has dispatched to the wicked. And what's your response to God? God is a murderer. You don't thank God, you judge him. Matter of fact, like I said earlier, when you ask why doesn't God get rid of the wicked people, what you're asking is, why doesn't God get rid of you? Because demanding proof of God by him getting rid of the wicked people is something a wicked person would ask. And I'm sure you don't think that you're a wicked person. Wicked people don't think they're wicked people. Even people who try to rhetorically boast in their wickedness think that they're justified in their wickedness. Which means that in their wickedness, they think that they're giving the rest of the world what it deserves, which in their mind is a good thing. And these people think that the Bible is contradicting. But these wicked people are the ones who think that they do the most good. They'll sit back and judge Christians. Meanwhile, Christians give more to the world than it takes. No other group in the world gives more of its time, money, and blood than Christians do. But Jesus said it was going to be like that, and nobody got judged harder than Jesus did, while giving more to the world than Jesus did. Wicked people will demand that something be done about wicked people, and then curse the one who does something about it, and then embrace the evildoer. I'll give you an example. We need to do something about these human rights violations. Bush sends the military in to get rid of Saddam Hussein. Real mean, nasty human rights violator. Who do the big human rights activists get mad at? They get mad at Bush. The Bible's been talking about people like you since the beginning. You praise dictators like Castro and curse liberators. You're like the Hebrews that chose Barabbas over Jesus. You're like Adam and Eve who chose Satan over God. Even people who claim that God is stupid because God is going to release Satan after he's been chained up for 1,000 years. Look here, Satan ain't going to be released because of the foolishness of God. Satan is going to be released because of the wickedness and foolishness of man. Man. Like I said, when faced with whom they would rather set free, Jesus or Barabbas, who did they choose? Barabbas. Satan is going to be set free because the free will of man is going to demand it. Man is going to use his free will to trust that Satan has a better way than God. And in God honoring the free will agency of man, Satan will be released. Yeah, out on parole on his third strike. See, Satan could have been subjected to the eternal death penalty, but because you liberals are so against the death penalty, we got to let that fool out again. Because God says, hey, I'll give you over to your desires. Satan will prove to deceive the nations again. And God, again, will get rid of another population of wicked people who will curse God for doing what they wanted God to do, getting rid of all the wicked people. Because they just can't get it through their heads that the wicked people were themselves. People who want God to get rid of the wicked people curse God and use it as an excuse to reject him. Oh my God, can you help me? My husband is beating me. The cops show up and pull him off of her. What's her response? You pigs! You don't have to handle him like that. Love you, boo. Why doesn't God do something about the wicked people? These are the same people who rejected Jesus when Jesus saved men from demons and had the demons go into the pigs and the pigs ran off the cliff. Did they thank Jesus? Oink, no. No, they rejected Jesus and told him to leave. They weren't mad at the demons who were possessing and torturing people. They were mad at Jesus for liberating them from the demons. They weren't mad at the demons who ran the pigs off the cliff. They were mad at Jesus. It's funny. These are people who don't believe in God, but believe in him enough to judge him for doing what they wanted him to do, and then use that as an excuse to not believe in him. But I'm going to give the non-believers some great news. God is going to get rid of all the wicked people again. Yes, sir. But he ain't going to do it in the way that you think. He's going to do you one better. God is going to get rid of all the people that you think are wicked. And we know that you think that the most wicked people on earth are Christians. And God's gonna be like, oh, you think that these are all the wicked people? Oh, well, why don't I just go ahead and get rid of them for you? Lickety split fast and in a hurry. Y'all people who think that we Christians suck so bad and ridicule us for looking forward to the rapture ought to be looking forward to the rapture as much as we are, because you'll be rid of us. And then finally, oh my God, you can peacefully coexist under Islam, the true model of peace and tolerance. Sharia will dominate the world, just as they said, because Christians won't be here to get in the way. I mean, which is good, because you wouldn't want that kind of intolerance here anyway, right? You already get the picture of what happens to people when they don't accept Allah. But you'd rather cover up that picture with signs that says no to Islamophobia. You don't want people to be Islamophobic. Meanwhile, Islam creates groups to promote terror, which means they want people to be afraid. And you guys say that the Bible is contradicting. But anyway, you're already getting a picture of what the true believers of Islam are doing to people who don't accept Allah. They get their heads sawed off, not chopped off with a quick, clean cut. Sawed off. The Bible has already warned you about the beast and his mark, and if you don't accept it, you lose your head. Do you really want to take the gamble and be left here with a group of people who will saw your head off according to their doctrine if you don't believe in their God? But anyway, the members of the Sanhedrin wanted to murder Jesus because they thought that this man who was doing good things was evil. And even when they came to the conclusion that Jesus was an innocent man, they still wanted to get rid of him and his followers. Many of y'all are the same. Just a thought. Thanks for hanging out with me again in the Zoloft. Make sure you share with your friends, family, even people who get on your nerves. And please be sure to visit my website, alfonsorachel.com, if you want to support via contribution or buying some merch. Because remember, y'all, when you share and support my work, a little bit of leftism dies. Chop, chop, chop! Man!